Alright, so this is part 2. So here's what you need to get this automation up and running. First, you need to set up 3 accounts. One on MtGox, one on Dwolla, and one on automtgox. A lot of you guys probably already have a MtGox account, but for this you will need a new one because you're going to be granting trade and withdrawal access to the automtgox service to automate trades and withdrawals. Besides, you probably want to keep your other MtGox account for buying and selling activities that you control manually. This one here you're setting up will be entirely used for automation and selling all your incoming bitcoins at market. Alright, so as you can see, I'm going to create an account. I'll put in my username, password, and then an email address. And I need to kind of go to my email, so I'm going to do that offline. Alright, I got my email. Alright, so confirmation address. Alright, and I confirm. Alright. Did I confirm? Okay, confirm. Alright, so the next thing you do here is your account is enabled. Great. You're going to go up to your user account settings. The easiest way to get there is to go up to click on your username next to the welcome up by the top right, and click on applications and API access. What you're going to be doing here is setting up a application that has access to your account. You can do that under advanced API key creation. I'm going to name it automtgox. Create this key. Okay, and then what you're going to see is down here under API keys is that it has created this new section, API key and secret. We're going to need those in a moment. But right now I need to set the access rights. I need to give get info, not deposit, trade access, and withdrawal. These are the only things that as I understand that the site requires, because it's not going to be depositing anything or any merchant accounts. And you need to update the rights. I don't know if you noticed that, but you can revoke these rights at any time. Alright, so notice that I have updated these rights for this particular API, and let's see. So this account, automtgox, now has these rights. Alright, while I'm still here, there's one other thing I want to show you, and that's when you click on the Add Funds. You'll notice down here you have a Bitcoin address. Okay, now this Bitcoin address, obviously, since it is using the Bitcoin standard, will potentially change over time, but this is the address that you actually care about when you are going to be sending bitcoins. This is the address that all bitcoins will be automated and translated into US dollars. Alright, so I'll get back to this later. Alright, so pretty much we're done with the MtGox account. Alright, now on Dwolla, we're going to be able to actually use our existing account if you'd like. Alright. I've obviously done a little cutting away, and I logged into my account. I don't want, for security reasons, my Dwolla account out there in the wild. And so anyway, I wanted to focus on, once you've got everything set up, and that setup on Dwolla could take a while. So if you're creating a new account, they've got all these security features. And anyway, what we want to do is focus on what to do with your Dwolla account once that thing is set up. And again, you probably already have one, or if you don't, you need to set it up. Anyway, so what I'm showing you right now is what happens when you click Add Bank Account. This is kind of what you need to set up. You want this so that you have the ability to withdraw directly into your wallet. Into your bank account, into your checking account. So this is kind of what you do. And the other thing I wanted to show you is the Add Remove feature. When you click on that, you're going to see auto withdrawal feature. I have this currently enabled. This is something that allows you to, the moment that you have any incoming US dollars, what it's going to do is it's going to send you to, or send that money directly into your bank account. So I've got this enabled. This is not something you have to do, but it is one of the steps for the process of making sure that your money goes from all the way from your Bitcoins to your bank account, to your ATM machine. So that's kind of important if you want to do that. All right, so pretty much next step is, all right, so we're going to set up, like I said, an account on MtGox, and just create the account in that top left corner, register, and then automtgox, Gmail. Notice that the password security is pretty high, so they need you to put, a non-alphanumeric character. All right, so register. All right, then they, of course, disavow any liability for anything. Typical. All right, so I accept. All right, and then you're on your user account screen. Okay, now notice we have a dashboard up here, but what they need is an API key and secret. So I'm going to go back over to my MtGox account, and we're going to need this later, but right now we need to get back to our API key and secret. All right, so here's where I need this key. Okay, and I'm going to copy that to here, and going to take, whoops, I want to make sure I get this all the way to the equals are included at the very end there. All right, so what I can do actually here is to test to see if that API actually is valid. If I save this account, what's going to happen is I'm going to see a MtGox balance up here, which is cool because that means that now it's actually logged into my MtGox account and actually verified my balances, which are 0. All right, the minimum exchange rate is basically says they've got the default at 1 penny, and that basically says sell at any price, effectively. I happen to know that my miners don't make profit after electricity costs unless the valuation is at 6, so I actually want to set a cutoff there. Merchants might actually want to just set it with the default and just automatically sell at whatever price because they're probably selling at whatever the current rate is anyway. But this is configurable. All right, the next part is this transfer portion of incoming Bitcoins to another wallet address. I think the idea here is that, for instance, since you may have this one wallet address, like I said, the one wallet address on your MtGox account, this guy, that wallet address is where you're going to be sending your money. Like, for instance, I'm going to be sending my mining directly to MtGox. And then, so what this allows me to do is I can say I want 25% to actually be transferred out of my MtGox account to another wallet. So this allows me to say 75% of my balance I want to be selling at market, and the other I want to actually use for other speculation. So anyway, I'm going to just transfer that to my personal wallet, copy that address, and put that here. All right, so I can save this, and that basically will switch the thing says that percent transfer function is now active. All right, so the next part has to do with withdrawals. So once the Bitcoins have actually been exchanged for US dollars, a US dollar balance is accruing on your MtGox account. This allows me to specify to my Dwolla account where I want that money to go. All right, so I'm going to put a Dwolla account number. I'm actually making this up because I don't want to share that information, but for now, you definitely want to make sure that this matches exactly with the account number that appears up on top here. All right, so the next thing is the minimum transfer value. So in other words, this is the amount that it's you must meet before a withdrawal is taken to your Dwolla account. Because Dwolla actually has a 25-cent charge for receiving, you can actually set this to anything. I recommend $25, $50, $100, whatever you feel is comfortable. I feel comfortable at 50, so I'm going to have, whenever the balance reaches 50, it's going to transfer to my Dwolla account. Okay, now this is an override transfer time. This says that, like if I were to say 24 here, what this means is that even if I don't have $50 in my balance, after 24 hours, just go ahead and transfer whatever it is. I think the minimum is like $1 or something, but the idea of this is allows for like a consistent and timely flow of money, and this is based in hours. So, the other thing that I understand this to mean from reading the side is that, like for instance, if you don't receive any incoming Bitcoins, you turn it off or whatever, I can set it. I think 720 is like 30 days. That's their default. It will automatically just transfer the final balance to your Dwolla account. Anyway, so I'm going to set this as every 24 hours I want to have at least a transfer. All right, and then I save. All right, and then pretty much I'm done. Notice I've got a dashboard up here, and you know, balances and some news. All right, so all right, I'm pretty much active. So the moment I send Bitcoins, so like for instance, I could send them right now to the address I found on my MtGox account here, and these will be immediately converted. So how this works is I could send this again. I could set it up from my miners. I can set it up from my retail business. Any wallet address, where you're basically receiving money, you can use it for donation address. You just send to your MtGox account, and boom. So if I were to send this, it would basically, let's kind of go through the process.